Hey, Sunshine Yogis, thank you for joining me. Today I'm offering a fun Friday flow. I'm recording this on a Friday. Of course, you can do this any day of the week, but this week felt like it was kind of heavy. So I'm hoping that this practice will bring you a little lightness, a little levity, and help you to move your body in fun and creative ways. No props required. We'll start on our backs in the middle of our mats. My blue dog, my terrier, is already in Shavasana, and that will be our treat too when we get to the end of our flow. So let's start on our backs and just give yourself a couple of moments to feel yourself grounding. You're welcome to place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, closing the eyes and relaxing the shoulders down and away from the ears, letting the weight of your body just ground into the earth. And let's all take a full breath in. Fill up, feel the belly rising up into your palm as you extend into your breath. And then let's open the mouth and exhale it all the way out. Two more like that. Big full breath in. Try to get your ribs to move side to side and feel the breath even move the back of the body into the mat. Open mouth, exhale. Sigh that out. One more time. Big breath in. Fill up, expand, expand, expand. And then exhale, empty. Good. And just allow yourself to kind of tune into your body. We're at the end of the day, the end of the week. And it's a time for us to sort of tap into us and let all the energies of the week and our commitments just fall away. Always helpful to remind ourselves to maybe work more from our heart space and less from our head. This is a heart-based practice. So when you feel yourself getting caught up into, oh, I wish I'd looked like this, or I should have done that, just drop it, right? We want to be moving from the heart and compassionate with ourselves and our practice at all times. Ease your eyes open and let's invite that right knee into the chest. Draw the thigh bone as close to the rib cage as you can. And let's flex the right foot, spread the right toes, and send the shoulders back and down. Lengthen the sides of the neck and let your tailbone drop down. Feeling this really yummy stretch in your right hip. And then we'll extend that leg long. So you're welcome to reach up towards the ankle with your hands, stretching the leg to as straight as you possibly can, but don't force it. And let's point and flex the foot, getting a little bit of activity going in the ankle, maybe getting a pop or a click. And then walking the hands further up, see if you can draw your forehead towards your knee or your shin. Maybe draw those elbows out to the side. Feel your core getting a little engagement here, lifting up. Nice, and then bringing yourself down. Let's reach for the outside edge of our foot as we bend that right knee, coming into half happy baby. A gentle but delicious hip opener on our backs here. If you can't reach for the outer edge of your foot, grab your ankle or shin, or even take your palm to the ball of the foot. Press the foot down, press the knee down, and try to get a nice opening in that right hip. Continue to relax your shoulders and keep your breath nice and steady. Give a good audible sigh, ah, if that feels good. I know it does to me. And then we'll take the left hand to that right knee and guide it across our body for a spinal twist. Extend your right arm away from you and turn the gaze to the right if you can. Gently invite your knee across the body and over, and try to lengthen this whole right side from your shoulder all the way down to the hip and the glute. Wringing out the muscles around the spine. Might feel really good if you've been sitting all day. And then we'll come on back to center and re-extend the right leg. Notice just for a moment as you pause between sides, how that side already feels different. Pretty delicious. Let's bring that left knee in, excuse me. And once again, draw the thigh bone really close towards you. Try to connect to the ribs in some way. Keep your shoulders drawing back and down. Flex your left foot, spread your toes, and just feel what's happening in your left hip. It might be really different than the right side, and that's okay. We'll extend that left leg long now, getting into our hamstring. Don't worry what the leg looks like, if it's perfectly straight or not, right? We just want to invite in a really yummy stretch into the back of the leg. Spread your toes and let's point and flex the foot as we invite that ankle to open up. Good, and then wherever you are, let's see if we can lift up, just walking the hand up and drawing the thigh bone closer towards your chest. Opening your elbows out to the side as you think about bringing forehead to knee or shin. Engaging your lower abdominals. Yes, waking up our core. Walking the hands down as you release, bend the knee and reach for the outside edge of the foot to find your half happy baby on this side. Again, option to grab the ankle or shin or place the palm on the ball of the foot, whatever works for you on this side. Direct your breath into your hips. Stay with eyes closed if you'd like to go kind of deeper into the body, or open, whatever feels right. Maybe a soft gaze somewhere in between. One more breath here. And then spinal twist. Let your right hand just lead your knee across your body over to the right. Extend your left arm out. Pet the puppy if your puppy is there. And turn the gaze to the left if that feels good. Keep melting your left shoulder down as you take your knee in the opposite direction. Feel that wonderful release of the muscles along the length of your spine. Good, let's come back to center. Bring both knees into the chest for a little hug. And then bring your legs to a tabletop position. So you want to kind of glue them towards one another, flexing the feet and bringing the knees over the hips, keeping your shins parallel to the floor. We're going to take our hands to the tops of our thighs, pressing the heels of the hands right in the crease where the hip meets the thigh bone. Take a nice deep breath in, fill up. As you exhale, you're going to press your hands into your thighs and your thighs into your hands. So you're creating active traction here. There should be a lot going on and you should immediately feel your abdominals turn on. So keep pressing, 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 and then release. Maybe let your feet flop a little bit. Maybe pat your belly if you felt that. I know I did, felt pretty good. Nothing like getting in touch with your core. It's pretty important. Let's do that again. Legs back to tabletop, bringing the hands to the thighs, taking a deep breath in. On the exhale, push. So hands push into thighs, thigh bones press back into the hands. You are turned on and engaging those lower abdominals as you breathe, 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 and release. Let it go. Woo! Definitely felt that on the second round. Okay, arms out to a T to anchor yourself down. We'll bring the legs back to tabletop, and once again, you're going to keep your legs glued together. So just imagine there's a zipper there, keeping them close to one another. We'll take a deep breath in. On the exhale, let your knees float over to the right side and just let them hover. So we're moving now to the obliques, another part of our abdominal chain here. And we're turning them on as the legs just hover off to the right. The left obliques are turned on and working here. You should feel that. Now inhale, use your core muscles to bring you back to center, pause, and then exhale, take it over to the other side, just hovering off to the left. If your neck is okay with it, you can turn your gaze in the opposite direction. Keep your legs firm, keep them zippered up. Inhale, using those core muscles back to center. Exhale, off to the right. Maybe you take your gaze in the opposite direction. Good, again, inhale back to center. Exhale, off to the left. Strong core muscles. Keep a smile on your face. Inhale back to center. One more time. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. And exhale to the left. Good. Back to center now. Let's take our hands behind our thighs, tuck our chin to our chest, and start a little forward and back rocking motion to open up the muscles along the spine, getting a nice little massage. And then when you come up, you're going to land with your toe tips on the mat. Now sit up nice and tall. Bring your shoulders back. Lift from the center of your chest. We're going to bring one shin up parallel to the mat, and then the other, resting on our sit bones and our tailbone, coming into Navasana or boat pose, another strong abdominal pose here. Now, if this is too much for you, you can bring your hands back behind you to support, reminding yourself to keep the center of the chest lifted and to keep turning on your core here. This is a lot right here. If you want to go a little bit further, extend your arms forward, fingertips reaching for the toes, and then maybe even straighten your legs. So this is pretty intense. Find a way that makes it work for you and be cool with that, whatever it is. Remember, there's no competition in yoga. This is just good exercise, fun, mind-body connection for us. Now, going a little bit deeper, let's inhale to come into low boat. So our body is hovering over the mat. Fingertips reaching for the toes, toes pulling back. On the exhale, bring yourself back up using your core to boat pose. We'll do that a couple of times. If your hands are back behind you, you'll inhale to lengthen out, and then exhale to pull up, okay? Inhale to come down, exhale up. Two more, inhale, hover, exhale, strong core up. Last one, inhale to lengthen, and exhale up. Beautiful. Place the feet on the mat and just fold forward, bringing your head between your knees, letting your belly muscles soften here. Relax your head and your jaw. Wow. Feeling that fire in our core center, nice and alive and awake. Beautiful. Take one more breath and then let that go. Nice. Now bring your hands back behind you. Fingertips are going to face your sit bones. Bring your heels in line with your sitting bones as well. And then wrap those shoulders back. So feel your blades kind of kiss one another on the back side of your body. Keep that chest nice and open. As you press into your hands and your feet, start to scoop your tailbone forward and up, coming into a reverse tabletop. Big spread of the collarbones across your chest here. Lift your glutes and press your tailbone towards the back of your knees. If it feels good, you can drop your head back and open up your throat and your heart space. Press the hips high, feel that big stretch across the front of the thighs and into the hips. Lovely heart opener as well, big breath in. On the exhale, slowly bring yourself down. Nice work, guys. All right, flip yourselves around. Let's come into tabletop. And if you've practiced with me before, you all know I love a good cow-cat sequence. So let's do that now. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. Spread your palms nice and wide. Stack those knees right below the hips and get grounded in your tabletop position. Spread your shoulder blades and inhale as you soften the belly. Lift your tailbone and pull your heart through your shoulders as you lift the crown of the head. Exhale as you tuck, round, lifting navel towards spine and bringing your chin to your chest. Press evenly through the hands and feel your shoulder blades protract on your back. Good, again, inhale, tailbone lifting, belly softening, heart pulls through. Exhale as you tuck and round, synchronizing your breath and your movement. Make this really a lovely and personal experience for yourself. Closing the eyes, perhaps, to really find the movement of your spine, feeling the difference between extension and flexion as you move. One more round, finding your cow pose and exhaling into your cat pose. Good. Now extend your right leg straight back and kick your left foot off the mat at a little angle. We're going to lower the right heel down so that we can open up to the long side of our mat, sweeping that right arm up and overhead. Finding a modified side plank here. Lean back so that your shoulders stack here and breathe. Pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. For a little balance challenge, maybe bring that right leg up, flexing the foot. The toes are going to be pointing away from you. See if you can extend your top arm overhead and find some length as you press through that right heel and reach out through your right fingertips. Oh man, does that feel good? A little extra here, bend the knee, reach back for your foot with your right hand. And as you press your foot into your hand, roll your chest open. Keep your knee in line with your hip. Maybe you drop your head back, opening up the throat, the chest, the shoulder. Oh, so yummy. One more breath in. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring that right hand down, hover the foot over the mat, and we're going to step it forward in between the hands up by that right thumb. Walk your back knee back, ground and rise up into crescent moon pose. So a kneeling, low lunge. Right knee is stacked over the right ankle, so your shin is vertical here. Relax your inner shoulders. And then sink and melt into your hips so that you feel something really yummy happening in that left hip flexor. Let's bring the right hand to the right thigh. Take a breath in and reach up through the left fingertips. And as you exhale, lean out and over to the right. This is going to intensify that stretch in the psoas muscle, tucked there deep in behind your hip flexor. So breathe into that. Nice. And then releasing, we'll frame out the foot and send the hips back as we straighten that front leg. Take a moment to just bring that right hip crease back. It's probably going to want to wander off to the right there. Tuck it back behind you, set your sit bone back behind you, and then maybe bring the toes back as well. We're not rounding over the shin, rather we're keeping our heart lifted and our spine extended. This will intensify the sensation in that hamstring stretch. Let's take a little twist. So plant your left hand underneath your left shoulder, and then from the belly button, we'll start to twist open to the right. This will also add an extra kick to the IT band that's getting stretched here. You can feel it in your glute and your outer hip. Oh, but it feels good, intense but good. One more breath. On the exhale, release that, rebend into the knee, and let's take our first downward facing dog. So lift your back knee, step back with the right foot, and ground evenly through your hands and feet when you land. Take any movement you'd like to initially. The body often likes to move when it comes into its first down dog, especially if you've been fairly sedentary during the day. You know your hamstrings are going to be talking to you, so they might want to take a little walk here. And nothing wrong with that. It feels really good. Press one heel down and then the other. You could even wiggle your hips from side to side. Anything that feels kind of good and natural to you. Find your forefinger and your thumb and just press into it. Extending your arms long, wrapping those tricep muscles in. Find length in your spine as you pull your ribs back towards your thighs. And press those thigh bones back towards the back edge of your mat. Take one more breath in. Oh, make it juicy. On the exhale, float your knees down. Come back into tabletop. Let's take that sequence on the other side. Extending now the left leg back. Kickstand your right foot off the mat. And then lower the left heel as you open to the long side of your mat. So finding this modified side plank on this side. Breathe into it. Lean back just a little bit more so that those shoulders stack and you feel this wonderful opening across the front of your chest. Stay here or add the play of balance. Lifting that left leg. Keep your heel in line with your hip, and if you can, send your top arm overhead. Now imagine you're pushing that left foot into a wall. Engage your left leg and reach long out through your left fingertips. Beautiful lengthening on the left side body. Stay here, or for a little fun, bend the back knee, catch the foot with the left hand, press the foot into the hand, roll the chest open. Lift your heart. Oh, feel into this pose. Really yummy. One more breath. On the exhale, we're going to bring the hand down, hover that left foot, and then step it through to come into our kneeling lunge on this side. Walk the back knee back if that feels good. Check for alignment with that front shin, and then rise up into your crescent moon pose. Arms are extended, inner shoulders are soft. Breathe into your right hip flexor, focusing your awareness there. Keep your chest open and your breath steady. Left hand comes down to rest on the left thigh. Lift up out of the right fingertips and then up and over to that left side. Going a little deeper now. Stretching open that hip flexor on the right. Good, and then bring the hands down to frame out your front foot. Let's send the hips back as we straighten the front leg. Walk your hands back with you, and then if you can, pull the toes back. Check in with your left sit bone. If it's off to the left, wrap it back and underneath you. Breathe into this side. No judgment, right? We're just here to have fun. Right hand under right shoulder. Let's turn from our navel as we twist open to the left. Bringing that right arm up. Feeling a little extra spice in the pose. Yeah, I feel it. One more breath. Beautiful. On the exhale, rebend the knee. Let's frame out the foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Left foot joins the right. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Shake out your head, shake out your neck. Feel the strength in your arms and the weight moving down through your heels as you lengthen your hamstrings, you lengthen your arms, and you lengthen your spine. Such a beautiful pose. Good, on your next breath in, rise high on the toes. And as you exhale, come forward into plank pose, stacking your shoulders over your wrists. Spread your palms nice and wide if they're not already, and really press into them, feeling the middle of your back start to open up. A little bit of rounding between the shoulder blades here. Tailbone draws towards the heels, press the heels away. Engage your abdominals as they hug into the center line. Now ground through your left foot and inhale, lift your right, just hover it over the mat. Keep the foot flexed, the front of the hip pointing down. Breathe and press through the heel. Exhale to lower. Other side, inhale, lift the left. Toes stay flexed. Front of the hip faces the mat. Press through the heel. Breathe in. And exhale to lower. Let's hold here for 4, 3, 2, And one. Beautiful. Shift forward. Lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes. Feels good to land, doesn't it? Bring your hands off the mat, and you're going to tent them like spiders, bringing the fingertips to the floor. Stack your elbow over your wrists, and as you breathe in, press into the tops of the feet and the finger pads, and slowly peel your chest off the mat, coming into this gecko variation of a back bend. Roll the shoulders back, press the tailbone down, press the front of the hips and the tops of the feet into the mat. Deep breath in. As you exhale, keep lengthening your spine as you come down, rolling the front of the spine down. Good, on your next breath in, let's roll up again. This time as you exhale, we're going to turn to the left as we drop that right shoulder down. So look over your left elbow. Let that right shoulder draw towards the center line of the mat. You're going to feel a big stretch in the front of it. Should feel good. Good. Inhale, press into the finger pads. Roll back to center. On the exhale, other side. Turn and look over the right as you drop that left shoulder towards the center of the mat. Feeling into this side, breathing. Inhale takes you back to center, roll up. On the exhale, keep the length of the spine as you bring yourself down. Hands come alongside the ribs. Let's tuck the toes, press back into child's pose. The perfect counterbalancing pose from that little back bend. Breathe into your low back. Notice how you feel. Back bends can be very energizing, so maybe the heart rate lifted a little bit, the breath picked up. Steady yourself, come back in. And then find your way to downward facing dog, lifting the hips high, grounding through the hands, pressing the heels towards the mat. And then we'll look forward at our thumbs. We can either walk or maybe take a little hop to the top of the mat, landing in a forward fold. So separate your feet about hips width distance apart. Let your head get really heavy. Chin is tucked towards the chest, so the crown of the head is pointing down. Soften into the knees as much as you need to, and just continue to keep drawing your rib cage towards your thighs. Even if your knees are bent, can you make that connection? Bent or straight, staying close to the thighs with the front of the body. We'll take our hands behind us. Let's find a clasp here. Press the palms together and do your best to straighten the arms and lift them up and away from your low back, bringing them up towards the top of your mat in an arc shape. Big chest opener here. You should feel your shoulder blades squeezing together on your back side. Breathe into it. Maybe you want to bend one knee and then the other, just tapping the front of the shoulder to that knee. This is optional, just how you feel. Flow with what feels right for your body. And then keeping the clasp, let's go ahead and roll ourselves up to stand. Stacking your bones, feeling yourself rebuild as you get nice and tall. And then at the top, you're going to drop your knuckles to the floor and lift your gaze up to the sky. Finding a gentle hint of a back bend here, opening the chest and the throat, leaning the head back, and then bringing yourself to neutral. Keep the clasp, and we're going to bring the hands to rest outside of our left hip. Hug your elbows towards one another on the back side of your body. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let's just drop our right ear towards our right shoulder as we start to feel a really nice stretch in the left side of the neck. Keep your throat open, keep your chin pointing forward. And breathe into whatever sensation you're feeling. I'm pretty sure you're feeling something. Most of us have tension hiding out in our neck. Some subtle, some not so subtle. On the next breath in, come up. And then switch sides with the hands. Have them rest now on your right hip. Hug those elbows in towards one another on the back side of your body. And then on an exhale, we'll just drop left ear to left shoulder. So don't worry if you feel like you're not going too far. These can be very, very tight muscles in the body. So it's just good to do whatever you can do. Provide that relief. One more breath. And then bring it up to center. Beautiful. Let's release the bind. Go ahead and shake your hands out. And we'll come up back to the tops of our mats. And take a deep breath in as you sweep your arms overhead. Reach for the sky. Exhale, hinge from your hips with a nice flat back. Keep it long as you fold forward. Come to a halfway lift. Press your fingertips into your shins and lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, drop the hands, step your left foot all the way back and spin the heel all the way down. Setting up for Warrior Two foundation. Reverse cartwheel your arms up and find yourself in Warrior Two. Take a moment, you can check for your alignment. You want your heel and the arch of the back foot to line up. And you want your front knee to stack over your front ankle. Now make sure your knee is tracking between your second and your middle toes. You don't want your knee to be doing this, kind of rolling in or rolling too far out, right? We want to find that sweet spot right in the middle. Reach your fingertips away from your heart and radiate your energy out through them. Find a firm foundation through your legs, pressing strongly into that outer back foot. Beautiful. Inhale, let's reverse. So keep your foundation as it is. Stay here for an exhale as you breathe into the opening you're creating through the ribs. Big breath in. Exhale, find extended side angle. So your forearm comes to your front thigh and your top arm, your left arm, reaches long away from you. Relax that inner shoulder. Find that beautiful sensation of length and that angle that you're creating on the left side. Maybe add a half bind here from the back of the hand, the left hand to your sacrum, or find your hip crease, your right hip crease with your left fingertips. Maybe roll that shoulder back, take your gaze up, and keep that right knee over the right ankle. Keep dropping into your hips. One more breath in. Exhale, if you have the bind, unwind. Take the arm forward and down and sweep it back towards the back of the mat as you bend into that left knee and you straighten your right. We're setting up for Skandasana here. A big stretch for that right inner leg line. Fingertips can remain on the floor, or if you'd like to practice balance, bring your hands to prayer. So you're balancing on the ball of the left foot and the heel of the right. Pretty fun, pretty intense. If you wobble as I am, don't worry about it, right? That's why we're practicing. Good, fingertips to the floor. Take a quarter turn. So we're gonna pivot to the back of our mat. Stretch out in a little lunge here. So you're on the ball of the back foot. Let your hips melt a little bit. Good, and then hop your back foot up about 3 feet and straighten both legs. So your right foot's at an angle. We're setting up for pyramid pose here. Take both hands to your hips and lift your torso up about halfway so that you feel your spine is nice and long. Pivot your hips so that the right hip comes forward, your left hip draws back just a little bit more. Beautiful. From here, breathe in. On the exhale, lengthen out and over your shin and your thigh, maybe releasing the fingertips to the floor. Big hamstring opener, I'm sure you're feeling it. Keep inviting your left hip crease back. Find equal weight through both feet, both legs. Big breath in. On an exhale, let something go. Good, let's look forward. Walk the hands forward, step your right foot to meet the left. Heel toe the toes in to meet, big toes to touch, heels are slightly separated. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, drop your hips back and down and come up into chair pose, Utkatasana. So here we want to put the weight into the heels of our feet, maybe even lifting our toes. Engage your thighs, roll the inner thighs in and down, and keep your chest lifting up and away from your front thighs. Find a big smile on your face. It is called fierce pose, but fierce in a good way. Breathe in, breathe out to come to stand. Yes, bring your hands down alongside of you. Pause for a moment and then hands to your heart. Close the eyes, take a moment, just appreciate the practice, appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're creating a little joy for yourself in this fun flow. Good, let's inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale as we forward fold a nice flat back. Halfway lift, find that straight spine here. As you exhale this time, the right foot goes back and we spin the right heel down. Reverse cartwheel yourself up into warrior two pose. And then make any adjustments once you land. You can really take your feet pretty wide here, so feel free to experiment with that. Ideally, you want your wrists right over your ankles. So if you can come to that, wonderful. Stack your shoulders over your hips, bend into your front knee. Find some firm foundation below you and some lightness in your upper body. Good, keep the legs where we are. Inhale to reverse. And stay here for the exhale, just stretching out the left ribs. Big breath in. On the exhale, we'll come to extended side angle, forearm to thigh as that right arm reaches overhead. Find that beautiful long diagonal line of energy that you're creating, stretching from your ankle to your fingertips. Oh, adding that half bind if it feels good on this side. Wrapping your right shoulder back, maybe looking up. Breathing into it as you drop into your hips a little deeper. Awesome. Let's release. Bring your top arm forward, down, and back as you bend into your back knee and extend your left leg to straight. Skandasana on this side. Hands to prayer. Flex your foot. Find your balance. Find the wobbles. The wobbles are all about the body trying to find balance, right? Moving in and out of that state. Something for us to remember in our daily lives, right? Finding balance. Good. And then releasing the hands down, a little quarter turn to the top of the mat. Find your lunge. Just hang out for a moment as you press that back leg to straight, opening up the front of the left hip. And then moving into pyramid pose, you're going to straighten the front leg and hop the back foot in, keeping the toes at an angle up towards the left corner of your mat. Swivel that right hip back, both hands to the hips, come up halfway. This gives you the opportunity to kind of square the hips, to find a nice flat back. And keeping that on an exhale, lean out and over your front thigh, lengthening your spine as you go. Fingertips can come down. You can keep them forward or underneath you, whatever feels good. And keep engaging your right hip back. Pressing evenly through both feet. Finding a big stretch in your right hamstring. Good. And then looking forward, walking the fingertips forward, step the left foot to meet the right. Have the big toes to touch, separate the heels just a little. And then take a deep breath in. On the exhale, drop the hips back and down, swing the arms overhead. Find Utkatasana, chair pose. Second side. Dropping the weight into the heels, keeping the tailbone down and the heart lifted. Maybe you want to play with rocking the heels off the floor, coming up onto your toe tips. Breathing through it, steadying your gaze and your breath. Maybe come to rise on your toe tips and bring the heels down. Awesome. Wherever you were, give yourself a yay. It's Friday and we're flowing. What could be better? All right. Let's do a little bit more. We want to do a little balancing. So inhale as you bring the arms overhead. Exhale as you forward fold. Come up halfway. Let's step the left foot back, this time staying on the ball of the foot, rising up into your high lunge pose. Now separate your feet as much as you need to so that you can feel balanced. For everyone, this is going to be a little bit different. And then bring your left arm underneath your right. We're going to come into eagle arms here. So wrap the forearms around one another. You can bring the backs of the hands to touch. You can even grab your shoulder heads if that works. Or if you can find the palms, see if they can meet. Keep your elbows lifted in line with your shoulders. And then push up your back toes and lift your front knee. See if you can wrap that thigh over the right and sit down into our Radasana, eagle pose. This is a strong pose. From the front, it's going to look like this. You want to keep the legs wrapped, the arms wrapped. You want to keep your shoulders over your hips, leaning back a little bit more. Squeeze your thighs and your arms into one another. Big breath in. On the exhale, unwind. Woo. Bring your arms overhead. Bring your feet underneath your hips. As you exhale, fold all the way forward. Now, lift up your right foot and slide your right palm underneath it, palm facing up. Do the same with the left for Patagustasana. Take a deep breath in as you lift your chest forward. And as you exhale, you're going to fold in, bringing your chest to your thighs. Your elbows are going to draw out to the side here. This is an assisted forward fold. Big stretch for your hamstrings and your glutes. Breathe into it. Hopefully this feels nice after being in your Garuda twist. Shake the head out if you'd like. And then gently look forward, sliding one hand out and then the other. Nice little massage for the wrist as well. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, roll yourself, just come up to stand. Let's do that on the other side. So big breath in as you reach the arms overhead. Exhale as you fold forward. Halfway lifting this time. Stepping your right foot back. Staying on the ball of the foot. Ground through the legs. Strong hugging in. Lifts you up into your high lunge on the side. Different side, different story. So treat this side how you need to. Maybe you need to widen your stance. Maybe you need to shorten it, whatever feels right for you. And then bringing the arms into eagle pose, right under left this time. Finding your wrap or grabbing those shoulder heads, whatever feels right for you. And then as you're ready, pushing off the back toes, see if you can float that right knee forward and up. Then into the left as you cross that right thigh over. Sink down, sit down, and keep pressing your forearms away from your face. This is a big shoulder and hip opener, the major joints in the body. Find a steadiness, find a gaze. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale to rise, lift everything up, and exhale to let that go. Shake it out, good. One more assisted forward fold. Breathe in as you sweep the arms overhead. Breathe out as you fold forward. This time, Patagustasana. So you're going to take your two peace fingers and you're going to wrap them around your big toes. Coming into a yogi toe lock. Inhale as you stretch your chest forward, pull up on your toes, and then exhale as you fold forward. Elbows draw out to the side, chin to chest. Actively pull up on your toes, but let the toes press into the mat at the same time. Again, keeping your chest close to your thighs, straightening the legs any amount you can. One more beautiful breath in. And then exhale to let that go. Ha. Good. Step back, find downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here just to center ourselves once again. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice. And then lifting the right leg up. Let's bend the knee and open up the hip. So stack that right hip on top of the left. Let your right foot drift over to the left side of your mat. This alone could feel really good. If you want to go for a little funness, inhale, come forward, twist your right knee underneath you. And as you exhale, kick it out to the left side of your mat. Ground on your left foot and lift your left arm, coming into fallen triangle. Lean back into your right hand. Reach your left arm back behind you. And press your hips forward. Such a beautiful pose. Breathe into it. Oh, hello, Friday. Hello, weekend. On the exhale, back to downward facing dog. All right, let's treat our body to the other side. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee and open up the hip. Staying right here if you'd like, or at least taking a breath or two. Find the left hip stacking over the right. Breathe into this side. And when you're ready, come forward. Twist that left knee over to the right. Kick the foot out. Lean into your left hand and lift the right. Press your hips up and away from you. Lean back, open up your chest, your heart space. Breathe into it. Put a smile on your face. One more breath. On the exhale, let's go back to downward facing dog. Wow, guys, good stuff. One big breath in here. On the exhale, float your knees down to the mat. Come into child's pose. Take a breath here. Let the forehead ground if you can. You're welcome to bring your arms alongside of you with the palms facing up to relax those shoulders. Feel the energy and the life force moving through you. Know that that's burning off all the bad stuff, making room for the good stuff. Beautiful. Slowly roll yourself up so that you're sitting on your heels. And then let's come up onto our shins. Tuck your toes underneath you so that your heels are lifted. And bring your hands to rest on your back side with the palms facing you and the fingertips facing down. Draw your elbows in and start to feel the beginning of the back bend, which is really about lengthening the front side of the body. Tuck the tailbone under, wrap the shoulders back, and just begin to press the hips forward, press the tailbone and the flesh of the buttocks down, and lift your gaze up. So this may be right where you land today, opening up the chest and your throat, letting the head drop back. If you feel like trying for it, lean back and reach for your heels. One hand and then the other. Keep rolling the shoulders back and the chest open. Keep the gaze up. Feel through this, pressing those hips forward. And then slowly come out, one hand to the low back, then the other. Nice work. Untuck the toes and just take a moment sitting in hero's pose. Maybe you want to close your eyes. Let your energy settle. Feeling the openness of our heart space. Feeling that life force moving through us, finding that Friday flow. Awesome. All right, a fun hip opener. I'll give you a variation in case it might be too intense. Coming into tabletop, slide your right knee forward and cross it in front of your left. Now separate your feet wide. This is the beginning of Gomukhasana pose, cow face pose. Now begin by just setting your hips back towards your heels and stretching your fingertips forward. This could be enough of a hip stretch for you right here. This does actually feel really, really good. But if you'd like to try to go further, walk the hands back and drop the sit bones between your heels. So the heels are on the outer hips. You're evenly grounded through the right and the left sit bone. And you're ultimately trying to stack your knees here. Easier said than done, I know. If you get this far, but you can't really make it, consider extending your left leg to straight and just coming into a half version of Gomukhasana. This is where we're targeting is this outer hip. I'm sure you can feel that. So your IT band there. So do whatever feels good for you, the first, second, the third. It's so wonderful because this is a practice that can really be customized to anyone or anyone's body or needs. So the beauty of yoga is just that. It meets us where we are on any given day, whether we're a beginner or a more advanced practitioner. There's something for everyone. So beautiful. Wherever you are, just spend a few moments, maybe eyes closed, breathing into the sensations. They are there. And welcoming them, right? We want our practice to help us to grow, right? Physically, emotionally, mentally, right? When we meet resistance, we learn how to deal with it on the mat through breath and through patience and through presence. So feeling into it as much as you can. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but I'm about done on this side. To come up, we're gonna rock forward, come back into that tabletop position, and let's just release that right knee. And you may want to give it a few circles, right? Off to the side, kind of doggy fire hydrant style. Land the knee, and then we'll shift sides. So slide your left knee forward and place it in front of your right. Separate your feet wide. And then with the hands forward, go ahead and just press the hips back towards the heels, extending the arms. This is option number one. Feels great. So stay here if this works for you. Option two, the full Monty, sitting all the way back and placing the sit bones between the heels, grounding evenly through the sit bones. So left and right side are level, stacking the knees as you can. Option three is to extend your bottom leg and coming into a half Gomukhasana if that is the right option for you. So find something that works, something that you can sit with, and let's just breathe into the pose for a few moments. One side is going to be decidedly more open and available to you than the other. This is normal. We are fairly asymmetric as human beings, so don't stress about it. Breathing into it, closing the eyes if you'd like. For me, it helps to really focus my awareness on the area that's being targeted and stretched, giving it my love and attention. Thank your hips while you're here. They do so much for us, right? Each and every day. All right, guys, let's come out of this. So rock yourself forward, unwind that left leg, and maybe take a couple of hip circles, just moving that knee around, taking it in both directions. And then guess what? Shavasana time. You earned it, guys. Let's come on down to our backs. Stretch yourself out. Take a full body stretch before you land into your final resting pose. Just give the arms a good stretch overhead. Reach through your toes. And then go ahead and open up the arms away from the body. Turn your palms to face the sky. Maybe pick up your sit bones, your glutes, and just draw them a little bit further away from you so that you can get a little more space in your low back. Relax your feet, let them flop open. Walk your shoulder blades away from each other, create a little more space in the upper body. And close the eyes if they're not already there. Now we can release any control of the breath. Just let your breath naturally breathe you. See if you can kind of become one with that gentle rise and fall of the chest, the ribs, and the belly as you breathe in and out. Such a beautiful rhythm, deep part of nature, rising and falling, right? Waking and going to bed. So many ways that that energy plays out in our natural world. So letting go of any to-do list, any expectations. This is time to just receive the benefits of your practice. So being as open as you can be, as clear as you can be, and letting yourself just absorb right down to the cellular level. Shavasana is a very important part of our practice. It is the part where we die, essentially, corpse. We lay and rest so that we reawaken, renewed. Going through that beautiful transformation, resting, receiving, and reawakening, renewed. Stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. This is really your treat, your reward, your benefit for all the efforts that you provided through your practice today. Feel good about it. Feel the sunshine within you radiating in and out of you, all the warmth and energy you have created. As you are ready, bring your arms overhead and once again find that full body stretch, reaching out in opposite directions. Gently draw your knees into your chest to give yourself a sweet hug, and then either rolling off to one side or rocking yourself up, take a seated position to close. I always feel like it's so kind and gentle and appropriate to finish the class in a seated position. Just grounding our energy, communing with one another. We'll bring our palms together, closing the eyes. It was my honor to practice with you tonight, or today, or this afternoon, wherever you are. And I hope that this brought you some fun, that it opened up your body in creative ways, and that you felt some lightness of being afterwards. Bring your thumbs to the third eye center. Let's bow to one another as we say Namaste, acknowledging the beautiful light within us all. Thank you all for joining me. It was an honor, as always, a pleasure. I hope that you found some light and some well-being, and I look forward to bringing you more videos like this. If you haven't already, please subscribe, please like, please share, and thank you so much for your presence. It means a lot. Namaste and have a fun Friday.